seats and we'll proceed on here. Oh, that's the winning ticket, okay. Jeff's got the winning ticket, all right. I did forget to make an announcement during the first break. Two cameras are left, okay. That isn't the announcement. It's the outing report. I forgot to make the outing report. The next outing will be the Muscle Car City on August the 13th. And it's the website is musclecarcity.net, so you can go on there and look at it. And we have somebody that's carpooling. There we go.
I have a carpool that I'm doing from a Mongolia to Target. If someone wants to join, I've got 3 seats open. Just the day after.
Okay, then August 13th, that's this Saturday. Yeah, very good. And I have some bad news. The Babcock Ranch outing that we had planned, and then we did it last year, and I think the year before, they've closed the Babcock Ranch for a short time. Some management, this or that or the other thing. So we postponed it, and we'll reschedule it as soon as it's open again. So that was in September. That'll be canceled. We'll replace it with something else. And as soon as they get started, open back up again, we'll go back again. Okay, Paul McKinney is going to give us a presentation on photographing controlled wildlife, including zoos. You need to, you're all set. You want to look up?
Okay. In the first shot, I thought, this is bad. I've got a little snow in here, and I'm with the Florida crew. But then I saw Artie. If you saw his picture, the first shot, lots of all that big white stuff at the bottom there. So that's to remind you of why you moved to Florida, to get away from that. Anyway, what we're going to talk about with the captive, and captive can be private collections, zoos, whatever. They're not in nature, and ethics requires we disclose that. But what you're trying to do is very simple. You're trying to fake it. Not with Photoshop, but you're trying to make it look like it really happened in nature. And I'll let you figure out whether that was rain going to snow at the end of the day in the Detroit Zoo or Siberia. Photography, you want to, the whole idea is to communicate, whatever you're doing. And we also want to talk a little bit about techniques. How do you get that shot of somebody who has 98% of the DNA that we do? The answer is you have a rubber lens hood. It is against the thicker than bank robber glass. You have cleaned the glass off, and that's how you do it. What you're trying to do is grab the attention. And here you've got something, we've got some, a little over a year old bears, and they're out there playing. You can tell they don't have their teeth in. And whenever you're sitting there, whenever you're shooting with any animal thing, when something's happening, what do? You keep shooting, you keep shooting, you keep shooting. Don't quit at 1 or 2 or whatever. As we say, if it's nature, it's fine. If it's not, you have to disclose that it's not in nature. That was shot up north of Lake Superior in a Canadian private preserve. Never forget the exposure triangle. If you're talking about something where we have critters that are moving around, a lot of time they may be standing or sitting, but they also tend to move. When you get to the exposure triangle, the most important thing is you got to have shutter speed. You don't have shutter speed, you have a blurry image. Think about your composition and try and get somebody doing something. This guy lived a mile, less than a mile from where I lived for over 30 years prior to last fall. But try and get there doing something. You don't want the silverback just sitting there like a bump on the log. You want them doing something. This is not a great shot, but it's a record shot. But the important thing is I was pressed right against a fence. And I had a artificial wall behind us, not real granite. So what do? You put the lens literally up against the fence, long lens, and you shoot it wide open. One thing that I found to my dismay is for photography, and I hope there's nobody on the board at the Naples Zoo, otherwise I'll try and outrun you to the parking lot. But the problem for photography, it's great to take the grandkids and all that. The problem for photography is you stand here, you can't go past where I am, 5 feet past there is the fence. And what do they have, what do you have there? You have a photo that the grandkids would like with an iPhone. That's what you got. It's just, you're not going to be able to do anything with it. What if you want to shoot through glass? Well, you want the lens touching the glass. One of the great El Cheapo things that are great for photography are the little collapsible rubber lens hoods. You put that literally against the glass. Same thing works well from an airplane too, because you get rid of the reflection. You put a flash with a dedicated cord. You got the camera over here, the tripod. You got the flash or somebody holding it off the cord over the side, and you put your hand between the lens and the flash to block out all of the flash when it goes off. Backgrounds. Well, since you're trying to make the zoo or whatever to look like it's natural, backgrounds are very important, which usually means long ones and you don't waste a lot of what's behind it. Here is the zoo shot from hell. I count 3 shiny fences, nice sun glistening off it, and then way behind a house. So that's 3. But the one thing I missed to really get a true zoo shot is you get a little closer, and then I can see, oh, it's number 10, if you look at the right leg. So, and then you've got the nice, doesn't look so hot fencing in the behind. So that's what you don't want to do. And I think if a lot of things in photography, it's important to know what to do, but it's also important to know what you really don't want to do. Try and get some expression. That was my 10-year-old niece. I don't know if she was thinking of me when shoot that, but there it is. Try and get something with it. It's interesting. That shot was particularly interesting because I was about 3 or 4 feet away in a captive situation. It was a 10-acre enclosure. That one jerk had, as the owner said, a bad attitude. That was right before Jerk took a half-hearted swing at me and said, just yell, kick at him, don't hit him, or he'll get ticked. So I got the shot. Nail the eyes. You always, you want to get the eye because that is the window to the soul. There, you want to get the eyes. Also, we'll talk, I think if you look at, you want to get low, or either real high or real low, but not standing comfortably at eye height. You want to get something. It's much more impactful to have it at the same elevation as this timber wolf. concerned about this guy. I'm a zoo junkie. You'll see pictures here of Detroit, New York, San Diego, which I've been to 6 times. That's the gold standard. There's lots of zoos all over. And a lot of great places, you get a lot of interesting shots because you're not going to go find this guy on your own walking around in the mountains. What can you look for one simple shot? One thing, it's the end of the day, it has gone from rain to starting to snow. So you've got, wherever you have change at the edge, whether it's between the sea and the shore or whatever, it's usually more interesting. How do you get with crummy light like that? How do you get the eyes nice and bright? The answer is fill flash. Fill flash is one of the great underused photographic pieces of equipment that you can do. The other thing is, like birds and other things, they're all creatures of habit. You know that you'll very quickly see that this tiger is going to go around the same path. And you'll get to one point where he stops for a second and then turns. The answer is, you're standing there waiting. When he gets there, you're ready. And this is a setup shot where there were about 100 horses, and I talked to the chief wrangler, and they would be coming around the bend. How high when that was shot, I was sitting on the ground with a tripod without the legs extended. Why? It makes the horses much bigger. It makes them much more impressive in the image. And also keep shooting again. Here are these two. Why are they looking at each other? Because they're the only two ones the only two at the zoo. It's like, you again. Can we get out of here? Height matters. That is the only shot in here that is not shot in a captive situation. Get low. Height matters. Again, that's that Arthur Morris kind of, that's that white stuff at the bottom of the ground there. It's called snow. But these two they're ticked off because they have, they're rehab birds. They can't fly, and they're ticked off with this hawk that's just going around agitating and having fun while doing it. And of course, if you're a photographer, you say, this is wonderful. Again, get close. Get close, and I like to always come in on the eyes. Oh, this is not close. Last week, I was in San Diego, and I'll let you figure out whether this was shot in the Pacific Ocean or, wow. You know, if you just went down there, shot up with the sky in the background, you got this thing, there's the Shamu, or the alleged Shamu, way up in the air, you got a nice blue sky. Why in the world would you ever shoot like that? If you've been there, you would know the first 16 rows are the splash zone, which they tell you about, have signs everywhere. And the Shamus there go around with their tails, and it would be, if you were in the splash zone, it would be like a couple of fire hydrants on you at the same time. So, I did not have a underwater camera, so that's called above row 60. I always, what's the thing that I just loved with animals, whether captive or otherwise, is just looking them in the eye. Because when they're looking down that lens at my eye, they're in focus at my eye, I'm in focus with them. And you get some wonderful shots. Also, I like to shoot details. You don't have to shoot the whole animal. You can just shoot a little of it. And I think that can tell a story too. This is part of the First Ladies. You know, the government says we've all got to be in better shape. Pilates. To remind us that never ever forget your histogram. If you're out coming in Costa Rica in the mountains and you're coming back a zip line, what are you doing? That's not a setup. Somebody from the company was taking it, and when I saw the photos. What was I doing? I should have been turned around to face the tree, or I was almost smack coming back. What was I doing? I was doing the important thing as a photographer. I was checking my histogram. I guess this should be called this in the wild. That's Mormon Row and the Tetons. But you use your car as a blind. You can do that in a lot of places. Now, you go to one of these drive-through parks, you know, get your wide angle out when the giraffe comes over, and then becomes, you know, disappointed to find out we have no food for them. You don't have to shoot just the big critters. You can get the little ones. There's lots of interesting things. The one thing I've taught for several years, an annual day at the zoo in Detroit. And Detroit has one of the best 3 or 4 zoos. What will be the best shots of the day? What I know, the answer I can tell you is I have no idea. They will let you know. And try and get the young. I've done a lot of work with falconers, and this is a breeder. That is the largest raptor species, and you can literally, when they're brand new, put 2 of them in the hand. When I say in my hand, I don't mean my thumb and finger. I mean hand. So, you know, go out and get some shots with falconers and other people who have animals. Where was that shot in Alaska? The answer is right behind the setup. Or a all-lethal reserve was trying to raise money. I always tip them very, very well. Again, get low, get the eye. If you look at that, you don't know shot in the crowd. Try and use something as elevation behind you, particularly if it's a game preserve. The last thing you want is fence in the back behind you. There is elevation also. Shot in the zoo? Absolutely. Get close. That's kestrel, if you're not familiar. It is the smallest raptor species. It's basically a songbird size. How do you get close? It helps to know some falconers. And that's probably if it's a foot away. Go on out. There's a lot of places. Don't just think about drive-through parks, and don't just think about the zoos. But the big brown eyes are out there looking out there and get some great shots. So go shoot with the animals and have fun. It's a lot easier than trying to go out west and find the mountain goat. We've done, but not that close. Thank you. With the zoos, San Diego is like Michael Phelps. everybody's fighting for the silver. That's the only contest. So San Diego is in its own world. I would say that I like Bronx, I like Detroit, a lot of big cities like LA and Atlanta and so on. I would think that I've been underwhelmed there several times, several other places. I have not been to Miami. We just moved down here last November. I want to go to Miami and I want to see up in Tampa.
How about photography friendly?
There's a lot of places like San Diego where you can go out and they have a separate place where you can go out for photographers. I found that San Diego is very friendly. The other thing I found out the first of several trips is it was a waste to bring the 500 millimeter with me. Yeah. The 80 to 200 was doing just fine, and a straight 300 would be at the heavy, it's very close. A lot of the newer zoos, like Toronto, though not in the U.S., which I would put up there, they have a lot more space, and the animals are more distant, but it's a more natural setting. And I'd like to see Miami.
If you like birds, Miami is probably one of the best zoos to go to.
Okay.
They have 90 Asian birds there. Nowhere else in the Western Hemisphere do they have as many Asian birds as Miami.
Okay. And is that, don't forget to bring the 500?
The only time
Okay.
it's a building, and they're loose, they fly.
Okay.
Regarding San Diego Zoo, were you referring to the downtown zoo or the wild?
The downtown.
How about, have you been to the wild animal park?
I did once, but I had like 2 hours between business trips. And it's way out, so that's not the ideal way to do it, believe me. Yes.
So just a couple of things that I would like to add. One, watch flash. If the signs say don't flash the animals, don't flash the animals, and just try to be respectful of the critters, because there could be hundreds if not thousands of photographers going by a day, and just try to remember what the critters are doing.
Okay. Any other questions? And support your local zoo. Get the annual membership and so on. They're good causes, and help them.
Carl, we appreciate it. Richard Tittle is going to do a Ask the Expert for a couple of minutes in case you have any questions.
I told you we were at the bottom of the barrel.
Please be gentle when we ask a question.
Who said that? Yeah, I'll be reasonably gentle. First, some just general tidbits here, and she'll write it down, you don't have to. However, there is a website you should know about called Florida-backroads-travel.com. Florida Backroads Travel. And it's a site that does just that. It has listed various places in Florida, some by category, some with directions, some with general suggestions. For example, it lists the 17 end-of-the-road towns and a map, so you can get to those places that don't have any more. And we have several of them right here. It has past attractions, so you can find the site of wherever Joe's Monkey Farm might have been and look for bits and pieces. So it's kind of a neat travel thing to see parts of our state that we don't get to see anymore. If you remember, up until not that many years ago, there weren't that many ways to get up and down the state. You had 441, you had 41, and 301, that's the north-south, and then you had 27 across and 17 across. And those roads are still perfectly good. They're sometimes fun to travel on. So if time is not, and by the way, going to Orlando from here, it is within 5 minutes taking 75 and 4 across, or taking 17 and 27 up to the center. The time difference is negligible. It's it's shorter to the middle of the state, and there's scenery, and there's topography. That's the up and down stuff. Kind of goes along with that snow that we were just hearing about. Another little thing to help eat up some of this time, there's a program that's just being released called Landscape Pro. And their site is landscapepro.pix. Landscape Pro, one word, .pics. This is post-processing, for those of you who don't post-process. It has a selection or masking figure. You bring your photograph in. It has labels that says, this is the sky, this is the water, these are the trees, this is a building, this is a body. So you tell what those things are, and it says, oh, I heard you say, and it colors the sky one color, the buildings another color, and the land another color. And what did I miss? It gives you a chance for the masking brush.
What's the website?
Landscapepro.pix. So you mask it, there's a little masking brush that you can do it again, and then it allows you to pick a sky. And it comes packaged with a whole bunch of skies. And you can add your own skies. You don't have to just steal theirs. But almost always their sky is better than the crappy sky that you have. You know, that one that's just all gray. So you can put a sky in there. And it has adjustments which allows it to guess, if you had that sky, what the buildings, the forest, the grass, and the land would look like. That's the site. It's pre-released. You can get the short version you get a free sample. Short version for $39, the full pro version for $79, fix and raw, goes through Photoshop. Something for a quick and easy way to change skies. And it has these pics. Some of them are certainly better than the skies I have pictures of. So, little thing to add to your Christmas list. So, except for him, what are your questions? Wow, that's about as good as the new members I've been introducing. By the way, no new members. How many of you here are visitors? Why would you join? No pressure here. I mean, now I've got a dance. You just don't know how much I don't want to do that. Yes, sir.
One-on-one?
Certainly. And I don't beat up my clients much. Right? Anybody survive to say that I beat them up?
Very nice, yes.
Come on, somebody, let's do something here together. Pretty soon we have to take prizes and get beer. There is nothing wrong with that. If you've got no questions, you're done with your game.
What prizes?
Everybody knows that.
Betty will put the information, the websites in the newsletter. So you don't have to write it down. Richard is now picking the winners for our door prizes. I believe there are, Gwen, how many door prizes are up there? I think there's an unlucky 13, I think. 12? Maybe I've lost one along the line. I thought I had 13. There are 12. Okay, so the first winner out of the 12. You ready, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Is 8019. 8019, very good. Just Let's go on up and pick a door prize.
Are you trying to butter her up?
I certainly am.
All right, and the next one, 8199. Right, right next to you, Jeff. You said you had the winner. Oh. Thank you. We need 12. Or 2. Well, call 2. All right. Gotta do the math first. All right, and the next one is 8207. Becky. I don't think we've ever worked before, have you, Becky?
Second time first time I was here, I won.
There you go. Well, let's hope this isn't the last time you're here or not. Right. Our next theme picture is watercolors, for those of you that will be entering our themes. Oh, this next number is a good one. 008. It's 8008. There you go. 80008. You got it? That's it. Come on up. Okay. I think that should. Count. I'll let you go. Very good. Our next meeting, we'll have a special presentation by Dave Graff, is going to show us how he takes pictures of sea life. And Eric Strassenham, who was the photo editor director for the Naples Daily News, will be here and show us how they take photojournalism and how what kind of photographers he looks for. 8015. There you are. Run on up there and get something. That ought to be a good program next month, something very educational. In fact, he's the editor that hired all the people that we've had speak here the last 3 or 4 years who have done some outstanding journalism. He happened to have been the one who hired them. 8164.
You got the right number, son.
Oh. 8164. Maybe you got yours upside down, Jeff. 8.
Mine clearly says 8461.
Oh. No, this clearly says 8164. Harold, you have 8164?
No.
And then going once? Going twice? 8164 is gone. It's like bingo, though. You have to have them in the right order, I think. Maybe you don't bingo. I'm not sure. 8093. 8093. Gwen. All right. Good for Gwen. We're going to need one more poll. We can do it. Where the tickets are. Right in front. Oh, yeah. Harry's going to take care of the last one. Thank you, Harry. All right. 8097. Very good. Kirk. Kirk's dad is still a member, and he was at our first meeting. Stand up, Ed. One of our original members. Still here. Still here as a problem. He and I both feel the same way. We're glad to be here. 8023. 8023, very good. The winner in every ticket. Well, there wasn't. go on up. All right. 8103. Close? 8103. Very good. And that should leave 3 up there after you pull yours. There 4 there, Larry? Okay. This many? That many? Okay. 4. 3 now, right. All right, 8099. 8099, you got it, Dave? Very good. All right. There's 2 more, Jim. Hang in there. Don't give up. Told me you had to win the tickets. I don't know. This doesn't look like those numbers you had either. 8012. 8012. There you go. Up in the middle of the room. And this is the last one, so make sure somebody holds your hand up. Don't everybody get up because we'll make sure somebody has this one. 8020. Very good. Thank you all for coming. Direct care.